Assassin's Promise by Thomas Woodward, Chapter 138. Thane dropped the foamy mug to the ground, unable to look away from his hand that had carelessly let it go. His only daughter was gone now. He felt truly alone. People buzzed about him like fireflies in the common room, but he could no longer hear individual voices. Jumbled sound was all that registered. His wife, Marie, had been so adamant in her wish to send Millie off to the far coast. He had agreed. It was what they had planned all these years, wasn't it? Why did he feel so empty then? He ran a rag over the bar, a gleam of the polished wood reflecting back at him dully. He had put his heart and soul into this inn. The very floorboards had been crafted to meet his specifications. But his daughter was not here anymore. Somehow the days that had been so cheery had lost some of their luster. He looked ahead mentally, and the days all filed into clean, neat rows. A long line of days without meaning. Slowly, Thane lowered himself to pick up the broken shards of the clay mug, but his wife shooed him away, nimbly gathering the sharp-edged fragments into her apron to make for easy disposal. A maid took a rag to the pooling beer that had gathered beneath his feet, and scrubbed down the floorboards until only the oak remained. She returned momentarily with a broom, and any tiny pieces that might have been missed were carefully whisked away. It was as if the mug had never been. Thane stood there, unable to move, looking at the spot on the floor. Only a tiny scuff in the wood marked its passing. Kind arms wrapped around him, and he could reflexively hear Marie's soft intake of breath behind him. "My husband, come now. Let us sit for a moment. We still have until the bell tolls before we can expect Mel and Hamlin, and the rest of the lunch crowd. Sit for a spell with me." Marie waved him over, gesturing towards the back door of their inn, behind the kitchens. Thane let himself be led into the brilliant glare of the midday sun. His wife ushered him to take a seat next to her on the small, worn bench that was pressed up against the rear wall of the inn. She took his hand in hers, and they sat there for several moments without speaking. Marie's hands were incredibly soft. Thane gingerly held them and covered her other hand with his own. "I see only gray, my wife." His tone was bleak, beaten like dust into a long-trodden path that many had walked over the years. "Do you remember when our daughter would put on plays for us? She and young Eddie had no makeup or costumes. But what an imagination she had." Thane smiled, looking away into the distance. "Be well, my husband. She is not lost to us. Not forever." Brightening, Marie sought out her husband's eyes. "We will see her again. Do not grieve. We had to let her go. I remember my own youth. I was bursting at the seams to be off on an adventure." Marie smiled at Thane. "That adventure led me to you." Marie nestled herself in her husband's thick arms, his great reddish beard brushing her face as she did so. Only the barest hints of gray made an appearance near his chin and at his temples, and one could hardly tell in the light. Thane hugged her close. "I love you, Marie." It was a whisper, but he held her tighter, holding her head to his breast for the space of a moment. He felt his heartbeat come steady and slow. The town seemed to shimmer and disappear. All that he felt was his wife's love, tender and strong as the day she met him. Thane took a part of that strength and held it close, knowing it would give him what he needed to go on through those numberless days, days of twilight, where he had felt no more than half alive. If not for Marie, he would surely die. There would be just nothing left of him to take. Thane stood, knowing that his customers would be arriving with the bell. He loved this inn and this town, but its heart no longer beat lifeblood. There was a hole now where that heart had been.